Brilliant evening last night. A lot of patience with the lion paid off nicely in the end with that beautiful roar. Truly one of the most amazing sounds to not only hear but experience on safari. It's a stunning morning. Lots to look forward to. We are looking for those lions at the moment. The trackers and James is out there looking as well. Many things happening. It's going to be lovely as always on safari.
Welcome to the magnificent Djuma and Arathusa game reserves here in the famous Sabi Sands. It's part of animals. This is Safari Live. Welcome everyone to the biggest safari vehicle on the planet. My name's Hayden Turner. I've got two vehicles out, a drone in the sky, trackers out since dawn, and a bushwalk with Scott. Can't wait to get you guys into this. You can interact with us through Twitter at #SafariLive, but we've got something really fantastic and fun happening through this as well. It's a game called Safari Bingo, and if you want to know more information about it, go to the website WildSafariLive.com and you'll get all the terms and conditions and rules. It's really, really good fun, and the prize is this: a trip for two to the Serengeti to see one of the greatest wildlife spectacles on the planet, the wildebeest migration. Now, that line last night was unbelievable. I'm just going to quickly do something here and show you. I've got a map here that's got all the guys out in. It's a live map. It tells me where all the vehicles are. We are looking for lion. We are looking for leopard. It's very, very exciting. But also, we've got Scott with something really, really beautiful. Let's cross over and see what he's up to.
Shh. I'm not too sure what's up ahead of us here. We've heard lions roaring this morning, and that's why we've come into this area. Hopefully we're going to find them, but we need to remember that there's other animals out here. And what I can hear up ahead sounds like something quite big moving through the bush. I can just hear the odd branch breaking. But we're going to go ahead and take a closer look. Just please try and be careful and quiet, rather, as we move through this bush. I've got a bag full of ash, and the wind is in our favor. It's blowing gently away from us. So whatever is up ahead of us won't be able to smell us. Let's go and take a closer look what it could be. This is so exciting. And my name is Scott, if you haven't met me before. I've got Andre on camera. And it's a huge privilege to be taking you on a walk through the African wilderness. Now we've got a nice big termite mound ahead of us here, which will provide good cover. And while we're creeping ahead, we're going to send you...
I almost feel like I should say good morning again. It is always at the beginning of a show. It's so exciting when everyone joins us. We've just got an hour in the bush, so there's lots to look forward to, lots of things to look for, and it's going to be busy. We're sitting with a herd of ellies. We were actually sitting with them just now when we said hello, but they were off in the thickets. As on foot there with Scott just now, you know, sometimes you get great views and sometimes you have to move a little bit again. Very exciting seeing them on foot. This herd as well, it's quite a few of them. Guessing about 15, I haven't actually counted. But we have been sitting with them for a little bit, so they are quite used to us. And we're going to move around a little bit. With elephants especially, one of my favorite things to do is to spend time with them. Not just have a quick look, but actually integrate yourself into the herd a little bit. Let them sort of accept you. And then you can sometimes get great interaction. The little ones will come and play with you, will come and interact with you. Those baby ellies, well, all the elephants, but especially the babies, very intelligent, very curious. With a little bit of luck, we might even have one or two of them coming to look at us, just the same way we're looking at them. Guys, also keep in mind, it's fantastic to have a talk on safari. That's always what you do. You chat not only about the weather, and it's nice and cool, which, by the way, it is today. We've got quite a cool morning for the bush here, but also just about safari and the bush and, you know, life in general, and certainly about elephants. If you have some questions, #SafariLive, that'll come through to us, and we'll get them on the vehicle and we can talk to each other as well. So please remember that. And yeah, just a fantastic day. I'm going to go a little bit closer. There were already a few of those young ellies that were sort of looking at us earlier. By the way, ellies is just a sort of, let's call it colloquial slang. So Ellies would be like a shortened version for elephant. Obviously African elephant. We don't get the Asian elephant here. This is the African elephant, the one with the big ears, and the one that lives in Africa, which is where we are at the moment. Just as I mentioned earlier, just to give an idea of what you could expect, that lion that we started with, or shall I say that lion that we ended with last night on the drive, we are looking for lion at the moment. If there's any updates whatsoever, we'll get you there as soon as we can. And in the meantime, let's just enjoy this elephant. We're going to integrate ourselves a little bit with this group. Hello, Phil. Oh, sorry. This one is coming to have a look at us. Phil is just asking how good is an elephant's eyesight. Oh, let's look at this one's eye since it's close enough. Little head shake there. Phil out of Texas. The eyesight of an elephant's not that great. I mean, you can't compare it to, let's say, an impala or a giraffe or a leopard. But decent eyesight, better than a rhino, for instance. But excellent smell. You could see that Ellie just now, when it came closer, they had the trunk out towards us, just trying to smell us as well. That was, by the way, purely curious. I mean, as I said, we've been sitting with him for a while. The eyesight's not great, but movement plays a role. At 20, 30 yards, if you're sitting really still, they won't necessarily see you. But they will certainly hear you if you make a noise, and they will certainly smell you if the breeze is right. But closer up, 10, 20 yards, they can see very well in the sense that they can run full speed, 30 miles an hour or so through the bush. And obviously they won't be running into holes or trees. That was great having some questions. As well, Merkan, what a beautiful name. Merkan, if I'm saying it correctly, from Ghana. Do elephants ever get hunted by lions? Well, for this area, I'm just going to go around the side here. It's a little guy that I want to try and get you to. So let's go around a bit. In this area, we are no. We actually spoke about this last night, funny enough, sitting with a lion. There we go. It's the same one again that was playing with us just now. It seems to have a bit of a hernia at the bottom of the belly there. You can see that area there. It looks like something has been there for a while, so obviously not affecting it too much. Very healthy looking elephant, young bull. In this area that we are in, not really. In fact, never really. I'm sure there's the odd circumstance that allows for it. But in parts of Botswana, Zimbabwe, there are a few prides that have learned to hunt elephant, but it's really not a typical thing, Merkan. In this area, the lion tend to hunt buffalo most of the time. Otherwise, obviously, things like impala and so on as well. We're going to try and find another view. I want to get into the group for those little ones. There's one or two small ones in this group, but it's going to take a little time. It's a bit sort of brushy and bushy here. James and them are following up on those lions. We're really keeping our fingers crossed to find them, maybe get another roar or two while it's cool this morning. He's going to tell you what's happening there at Arathusa Dam, and we will see you back with these Ellies in a bit.
Good morning everybody. Welcome to this wonderful African dawn, where there is a marabou stork currently fishing here. We are sitting, waiting to hear if there's some lions calling. There were some lions calling around here earlier. One of our guys is on foot trying to follow up on them now. Just off to the west of us here, we're having a bit of a listen and enjoying the sight of the marabou stork there that is now feeding on a tilapia. My name is James Hendry, on camera is Brian, and we're going to carry on trying to follow up on those lions. It is Big Cat Week, of course, and you are on a live safari, and that means that things are very unpredictable out here, which is a very exciting thing. That is a tilapia that's being caught there, and interestingly, the marabou is not like an eagle or another bird of prey with that hooked bill that's able to cut up the meat. And so when it gets big like that, it's quite difficult for the marabou stork to actually swallow. It has to swallow its prey whole. So it's having a bit of trouble breaking it up sufficiently. They also will sort of smash it up in the beak like that to break all the bones and then swallow it, because then obviously it's much easier to digest. What a wonderful question from Laurie in Indiana. Thank you, Laurie. And just remember, everybody, you are live, which means you can talk to us anytime you like on Twitter, #Safari Live. Laurie, you're in Indiana, where I imagine it's probably a bit chillier than it is here. We're in the middle of our summer now. And you want to know if we here in South Africa are as interested in your American animals as you are in ours. I am certainly, and I'm amazed by wolves and bears and the buffalo that you have, and it was a great dream of mine to go and see them one day in Yellowstone National Park. And I think the American wildlife is just fascinating. And you've got big cats there, the cougars. I'd love to see a cougar or mountain lion, your bobcats, amazing stuff that you get over there, but specifically wolves. I'd really like to see some grey wolves. There is a... Brian, what's that?
Oh, looks like a pineapple.
It looks like a pineapple. What a very strange thing to see. Oh, well, it must be a bingo pineapple, wouldn't you say? Fascinating. Right, we're going to carry on from here, head off to in a westerly direction to see if we can catch up with those lion tracks. Let's head across to Scott on the bushwalk with that amazingly immersive wilderness experience, and we'll see you just now.
Welcome back, everyone. We're just creeping into position. The wind has changed ever so slightly, and we don't want these elephants to smell us. They've got an incredibly strong sense of smell. Oh wait, we've bumped into something else. A beautiful antelope called an inyala. And it certainly knows we're here. You can see how its ears have pricked up, listening very intently in our direction, but thankfully it's not a dangerous animal, so we don't have to worry about it too much. And as soon as it realizes exactly what we are, there it is, it's looking right at us now. It's also going to realize that there's nothing to worry about. Now, like I just said, these aren't dangerous animals, but they certainly are. And Brooklyn, who's just 10 years old, on safari with us, would like to know if I get scared whilst I'm walking. And yes, Brooklyn, right now my heart is racing, because there's a massive, massive elephant, and even though they don't want to hurt us and we don't want to hurt them, sometimes they can get a little bit confused and they can chase us. But I don't think we're going to have any trouble with them today. We're being very, very careful, making sure we give them enough space. Our main aim whilst walking Brooklyn is not to get too close to the animals that we frighten them, because when the animals get scared, that's when they make decisions to chase us. And isn't it remarkable how such big animals can just disappear just like that? I don't know where they've gone, but we're going to keep looking for them and for the lion that were roaring in this area earlier this morning. Back to Peter with some more elephants.
Well, lots of things happening out here. That waterhole, which is also, as James explained to you, where we're looking for those lions that were calling there this morning from earlier, by 3:30 this morning. We could hear them roaring in that direction, so hopefully we'll find them still soon. And that's also the area that Scott is in, so we are eyes and ears in the ground, as we say. We're still sitting this breeding herd of Ellies here. We're going to try and show you, if possible, what it looks like from sort of above us as well. And they're just in a little bit of sort of sticky, brushy stuff here, which is what they're eating, and we're just waiting for them to come out. They should. Ah, fantastic. This for me is one of the sort of coolest thing when we're doing this, is to be able to see from above like that, and especially obviously with Ellies, it's fantastic because you can see them sort of spread out, how many there are. And also very interesting, we're close to a waterhole, which explains that sort of network, like spider webs almost, or spokes of a wheel going to the waterhole. A very active, very popular place. This waterhole is called Treehouse Dam, important waterhole to notice. And one of the waterholes we often see leopard at, and just fantastic to sit here with a big herd of elephant. Yeah, they seem to have relaxed now again. They were a little bit almost just aware of the drone earlier, but now they've just ignored it again, which is brilliant. Well, actually, Nathan, you can help me answer this question. Great question. Nathan just asking how many elephants are in this herd. You'll have to help me count. You can actually see it better than I can. 10, 11, it sounds like, if you look carefully, maybe a few more. And that's brilliant. The view you have now, you can see better than I can. Isn't that cool? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 somewhere, 16 perhaps, maybe one of the little ones we didn't see. So Nathan, 15, 16 ellies. Just look at that. This is where we're sitting. They're all in front of us here. And we can see them a little bit, but compare that to just how beautifully you just saw them. That's just awesome. Now, as I said, there are a couple of small ones in there, so 2 at least that I saw. But at the moment, they're just not in the sort of perfect space. It's a bit brushy, which gives us a perfect opportunity to answer questions. Okay, how awesome is this morning? Guys, we're just in a short ad break now, so we're going to reposition ourselves, get ahead of the elephant. This is a little bit tricky terrain. But tricky terrain just means you have to be a bit patient, you know, like whether you're tracking a lion or sticking with a herd of elephants. One of the most important things for anything to survive out in nature is patience. Whether it's patience of the hunter, or whether it's patience of the herbivore waiting for the rains. But patience is good. We're going to try and get them a nice view. Wow, there we go. We're also having the drone around here, and again, elephants, highly intelligent animals, and they can hear it because we can hear it, but it doesn't seem to have affected them by now. They were a little bit aware earlier, now quite comfortable with it. In fact, it doesn't seem to bother them. We'll keep a close look on it. This is also a female we can recognize. She's got that almost like a hooked tusk on the right-hand side, and I know this is a herd. Sorry, the days tend to blur into each other a bit, but we have seen them the other day as well, so interesting to see this. Oh, beautiful. The whole group coming out in front of us here. Look at this. That's the benefit of not having a short break. Lovely coming past. There's one of the youngsters. And I really hope that we can stick with this group like this for the rest of everyone else to join us as well. It is so exciting at the moment, having new people being exposed to the safari experience. And for that matter, having new people becoming part of this sort of team experience that we're all sharing out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you guys could count better from the air than I can from the ground, even when they're nice in the open. Ah, this is lovely. And this is what we want. You see them all around us now. Coming to have a bit of a look. Beautiful female, this one on the right. She might even be, perhaps she might be the matriarch, just looking at her size. She's very healthy, great condition. She's just been suckling. Look at the mammary gland there between the front legs. Just there, you can see the tip has been suckled on just recently. One of the calves must have had a bit of a drink. Let's just position ourselves a little bit. Again, a little reposition. About 2 minutes or so until you have to sort of sit closer together again. The adults, they know that we're quite relaxed, and they don't mind if the youngsters explore themselves. For me, that is one of the best things with the ellies, is once it gets to that stage where the adults have decided everything's cool, which they have, but then the young ones start getting up a little bit of courage to come and sort of have a look at you as well. You know, they're curious, they're intelligent animals. I'd love to share some of that this morning. Noisy, sticky stuff to drive through. Just go around here. I think we can make it. This is almost like, you know, when you look at these great behind-the-scenes stories, and I always look at it and think, yeah, I wish I could be part of that. You guys are sort of part of that at the moment. I mean, this is not behind the scenes, this is in the scene, but we are waiting for many others to join us. And as you see, unfortunately, this is the only gap. Well, welcome back from the break. We've just been moving a little bit and spending time with this herd. And as every minute passes, they're just getting more and more comfortable with us. So we're hoping that some of these young ones will come and have a look at us. And of course, answer a few questions. Loving the questions, by the way. I love good questions. And Madeline, you're asking a good one. What animals get along best with elephants? Yeah, I'm going to give you like a catch-22 answer on that one. The animals that get along best with elephants are unfortunately also the ones that quite often get along the worst with elephants. And that would be us. That would be, I would say at the moment, everyone sitting here, you, me, Liam on camera with me today, everyone that's part of the crew out here, I would say we all fit into that category of animals that get along best with elephants. Because everyone seems happy and we're very excited when we see them. But unfortunately also our species can be the species that gets along worse with elephants. And guys, just what a view. We had an opportunity earlier to count them. On the ground, I've only been able to count 14. So you must have a good look there. Look at the little ones. 15 it sounds like. There's a little one, hey! Sorry, this is one of my favorite things in the bush, is a herd of elephant like this. Early morning, the birds are singing and to come back to the question about who gets along best with elephants, I'm just going to turn a little bit here. There are actually a number of bird species that get along really well with elephants. Starlings and drongos, they catch the insects disturbed by the elephant. But speaking of getting along and catching things and looking for things, Hayden's going to tell you a little bit more about the lions, and we're going to get you back with these ellies again in a bit.
So, a little bachelor group of buffalo bulls. Now these of course are a lion's favorite food out here, and the large prides that occur in this area, sort of 4 to 6 lionesses and attendant youngsters, will feast upon buffalo quite regularly. These are just males, so a bachelor group of bulls who are unable to stay with the rest of the herd. They're too old to fight for mating opportunities in their are made of keratin on top, so that's what that black bit is there, and you can see they've scraped that off. That grows, it continuously regenerates. Then underneath that is the skull, and so the rest of the horn is attached to the skull, and it's bone. So it's bone just like you'd find in your arm and your leg. That's what's in the middle of the horn, and that of course differentiates a horn from the antlers that the deer in America have. The deer, of course, have got those velvety antlers that come off during the course of each season, and that is not what's going on here. These ones are permanent, and if these guys lose their horns, then they won't come back again. All right, let's head across to Hayden. He's got a lion update for you, and he'll tell you a little bit about the Birmingham boys. There's marauding 5 lions that have come onto this reserve, and their favorite food is, of course, these old boys that we're looking at now. I'll see you just now.
Buffalo, absolutely one of lions' favourite food, top of the menu actually. Now there's a lot of lion activity that's been happening on the reserves over the past year, and we've been privy to some of that action that's happened right in front of our very eyes. Now 12 months ago I came around a corner, and as I drove up my cameraman VM saw a tail flick up in the air, and there was lions lying down. We nearly drove right past them. It was 5 males, a coalition. Now a coalition is normally related males, not always, but as a group that's joined forces to improve their chances. These guys were called the Birmingham Boys. I've prepared a clip to introduce you to them. These 2 magnificent lions, the Matimba males, have dominated their territory unchallenged for many years. In their territory live 2 prides, made up of females and their cubs. The prides live in security and comfort. For the cubs, every day is an adventure. They spend the day exploring and playing, protected by the Matimba males. But lions' social life is seldom stable for long. Five young males known as the Birmingham Boys invade from the north, looking to take over and establish a territory of their own. The five newcomers cause chaos. The Matimbas flee. The new males kill all the cubs under a year old. This will bring the pride's females into estrus, ensuring the future of their bloodline. It is a harsh reality, but this is nature, raw and real. Pretty incredible stuff. You only get a chance to see this between sort of 5 and 9 years when males are in their prime, so it's a great privilege to see these takeovers. The lines that we've been heard roar last night, the one that Peter was with, is one of the Birmingham Boys. 3 o'clock this morning when we were up preparing for Safari Live, we heard them again, and closer and closer. There are lions here. This is going to be a really exciting day. I've got my fingers crossed. We're going to cross back to Scott, because I tell you what, exciting stuff. Being on foot, there's nothing like it.
So, isn't it interesting stuff with that Birmingham coalition? There's actually a squirrel alarm calling nearby, and maybe those lions are lying in the bushes up ahead. But I'm just going to stop and show you this jawbone quickly. Evidence that predators are out here. We just need to be patient while we're looking for them. These are the molars that would grind up the vegetation that, in all likelihood, I think this is from a kudu that's been feeding on it. The vegetation of this area before, of course, the lions that caught it fed on it. But that's the circle of life. Let's carry on up ahead. The squirrel's not too far away. And we're going to try and get there as quick as possible. And we'll let you know if we find anything interesting. But for now, James is at a den site with some really cool little animals.
Awesome, James. And too good.
Everybody, that is a hyena. The hyena is here for a very special reason. In the marula tree over there is Africa's most beautiful cat, a leopard. I think she's probably got a kill in there. Hello, hyena. He's standing right next to the door, less than 2 feet from me. And the leopard is in the tree. And I think the hyenas are here probably because there's a kill in the tree. We've just come across this thing, and we're going to try and sneak a bit closer. We don't know how she will react, so we'll try and get a bit closer. I can't move right now because there is a hyena 1 foot in front of the vehicle. Excuse me. Thank you. There you can see the ears poking out of the car. All right, let's sneak slowly forward and get a look at that magnificent cat sitting in the tree. You know, we stopped here about 3 minutes ago. I just looked at the hyenas. I didn't look anywhere. I thought, why are they lying on the road? There it is. Now I'm going to move very gently because to go right underneath her or him like that might be a little bit intimidating. So we'll just move very slowly. There are hyena all over the place. 1, 2, 3. It means probably that there's a kill in the tree. I'm not sure. Yes, she is very close. We don't want to drive right underneath her. I think that's a male. Looks like a young male, but I'm not sure. Difficult to say from here. What we're going to do is go past and then turn around, everyone. What I don't want to do is frighten him out, so I'm going to go past quite smoothly and then we'll turn around. There's the leopard. Oh my goodness. It is a male. Okay, we'll just turn around quickly here. Is this not so tremendously exciting? And there was some blood on the hyena's face there. So I wonder, there doesn't seem to be anything hanging in the tree. Nick, you asked a very pertinent question. Brian, I'm going to try and get in here. Every bit of noise as I go off-road, don't worry about it. Nick, while we're moving in here, you want to know if hyenas will kill leopards? Yes, hyenas will kill leopards. Hyenas will kill any other predator they can, just to reduce competition. Sometimes they'll eat them, sometimes they won't. And that's the same with just about all the predators out here. That's scraping noise, just don't worry about it. We're not doing any damage. Yes, we're going to get a lovely view from just around here. So Nick, mostly the hyenas will probably be here 90% of the chance that they're here because there's been a kill. There's some meat around and that's what they were doing. They wouldn't normally hang around in a tree waiting for it. Brian, as soon as you get a good shot, you let me know and I'll stop. Is that right? A little bit forward. Here we go. So he's not going to come out of the tree, I don't think, if the hyenas are there. Right, that's as far in as I'm going to go. That's the best view that we're going to get at the moment, everybody. Isn't that just incredible? So it's a male leopard. The hyenas have pinned him in the tree. Why they should have pinned him in this tree, I really don't know. Because normally what they'd do is they'd be underneath the tree if there was a kill or something like that, and there was meat in the offing, but there doesn't seem to be any meat here at all. So they've probably chased him up the tree. Now they're just waiting to see if he comes out. And it's crucial that you understand that the hyenas here are, although they're smaller than a male leopard and they're not nearly as fast, because they're in a group, they can afford to take the chance to have a fight with him. But if he gets injured, that will be the last that he eats, because he can't hunt if he's injured, so he has to be very careful. Oh, this is very special, everyone. Shannon, you want to know if they often take their kills up trees. Shannon, they do normally take their kills up trees precisely because of the hyenas in this area, and so they do often take their kills up trees. I'm just trying to identify who this chap is. We can't really see his face. Brian, if I go back a little, no. I'm going to try and sneak a little bit forward, but I just don't think it's going to be possible. Yeah, it's not going to work, is it, Brian? Right, now everybody, I think there, that's going to be the best look we get of his face, I'm afraid. There we go. So this is a very special leopard. He's my favorite, everybody. His name is Mvula, which means rain. And in case you were wondering about snow in the area, which is a bingo word, we don't get snow in this area, but we do get rain sometimes, and this leopard is called Mvula. He's an 11-year-old male leopard. Right, so we're going to sit here, and he's sitting in a marula tree, which is a very comfortable tree for a leopard. They do like to sit in marula trees. The bark is quite smooth, but they won't by default sit in this tree. He's only in this tree because he's in danger from the hyenas. The hyenas, of course, can climb the tree. Seconds, but we're going to stay right here with this magnificent male leopard. He's kind of the king of Djuma, and we'll watch how this story unfolds. We'll keep you updated in the next few minutes. See you just now. Well, everyone on the internet, I'm sure many of you are absolutely fascinated by this as we are. I don't think that we can get a better view of this leopard at this stage, so let's just stay where we are for now. I could try and get to the other side there, but there's so much bush the other side of the road. Oh, how special. Totally random chance. He's in a very uncomfortable little branch there. And I'd love to claim some kind of credit for finding this leopard, but we just drove up the road and
We found him.
we found him, but we didn't track it. Oh, wow. Thank you, hyenas, for putting him in the tree for us. That was very kind of you. 3 hyenas lurking here. Should we try a slightly different angle from the back, Brian? And then we might get back. Can you see the hyenas there? You can, but not very well. Okay, let's go back a little bit. Just before we go back to TV, everyone, we'll try and get a sort of the best view that we possibly can. How's his face there, Brian? You're just a little bit too high, aren't you? There we go. I think that's the best we're going to get for now. I'm also going to have to call in the leopard for the game drives. Yeah, I think that's the best we can do. I mean, we could go a little further away. What do you think? Let's just try it. Let's just give it a go before we go back to TV. Turns like the USS Nimitz. You've got to do a 40-second turn. And that red bush willow is just perfectly screening him. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Big Cat Week, and that is a big cat there. And I hope you're enjoying Big Cat Week and the wonderful things that Nat.Geo Wild are showing you, the incredible cats around the world. Here, my favorite, the leopard. A male leopard, 11 years old. He's got a big fat belly on him because I suspect he was eating throughout the night. And then the hyenas must have come across his kill and stolen it. A lovely question from all the way from West Virginia. So it sounded like the most romantic place to visit, so I shall definitely do that one day. And Renee, You want to know how long a leopard will survive in the wild? Renee, the Sabi Sands, which is where we are, has some of the best leopard viewing in the world, and therefore some of the best information on leopards. So, in this area, the oldest male leopard on record was recently died just south of us, and he was 16 years old. So that's pretty old. In captivity, Renee, they can live to up to 20 years. But out here, because life is tough and food is hard to come by, unless you are physically in tip-top condition, 16 is very old. I'd say normally 13 or 14. So, I mean, he's coming into the twilight of his years, and you can see that from his kind of torn-up ears and that sort of thing. Right, now a very brilliant and salient question here from Tammy in Iowa. You want to know what markings we can use to identify leopards. First of all, Tammy, leopards are territorial, and that means that if we find a big male in a certain area, the chances are we'll recognize him just from the area that he's in. This leopard, Mvula, is recognizable from his tatty ears there. That can change, but the one thing that doesn't change, and I know that the cliche goes, the leopard never changes his spots. Well, it's absolutely true. A leopard doesn't change his spots. And if we look just below his nose, next to his nose, above the whisker line, you won't probably see it from here. We don't have quite enough zoom. There is a unique spot pattern just above the nose line there. Below the nose and just above the whiskers, there's a unique spot pattern there, and each leopard has a different one. And so if you combine that with your knowledge of the area, then that's the best way to tell. But I mean, as some of our many at least internet viewers will tell you, all of these leopards have got different kinds of spots in different places that make them very easily identifiable. Now, Alan in Seattle and little 9-year-old Kiki, we do so love to hear from our young viewers. Thank you for your question, Kiki and Alan. Yours is no less valuable, of course. You want to know, can a leopard balance sleeping in a tree? The first thing to notice is that leopards don't sleep as soundly as human beings do in the night, or as maybe your cat at home does. So while he is dozing, he is kind of... there are bits of him that are awake, if you know what I mean. So he can sleep in a tree. I have seen leopards sleep soundly. They will balance, but if they kind of start to overbalance at all, he'll wake up very fast. So while he is dozing, he's not in a deep sleep at all. Lovely to hear from our young viewers. They, of course, are the next champions of the wilderness, and we need them to protect the Earth's last places. We're going to stay right where we are here, and from one animal lurking in a branch, we're going to take you to a much smaller, very beautiful one with Scott on the bushwalk.
How cool is this? Can you believe how lucky we are that Jean spotted this highly camouflaged chameleon? It's currently got both of its eyes looking back at me, but it does have the ability to move them omnidirectionally, one at a time. I'm sure it won't take long before it peeks one forward at you guys, but for now, it's most concerned about myself. This one's fully grown, and just like Mvula, that beautiful male leopard you've seen up a tree, another very stealthy hunter. There he goes, now he's looking at you guys. Awesome. And isn't that incredible? What an awesome function. We as humans obviously can only look in one place at a time, but these chameleons have got twice the skills that we do, and also have the ability to shoot their tongue out about the length of their body, in this case probably about 6 inches, and it latches onto its prey, moths or grasshoppers, butterflies, and then it whips it back into its mouth and consumes it. Now this one's here sitting, hoping that we actually haven't seen it. That's why it's not moving, and that's one of their strategies. They'll just sit dead still and hope that their prey, or predators rather, can't actually detect it, and also its prey. Well, it seems like the trees are providing us with some wonderful sightings, the leopard earlier, now this, and we're going to send you across to Pete for an update on what's going on as part of the reserve.
Well, guys, what a morning. I mean, sorry, I'm just got to, I'm very happy for James as well. Sitting with our Hino, which has been spectacular. We've had some beautiful viewing there. Suddenly finding a leopard up in the tree. That is just what Big Cat Week is about. That's what being on safari in the bush is about. And obviously sharing that moment live is the best thing ever. This gives you a view of the area around Voyatela Lodge here at Djuma. This is also very close to our camp area. We'll try and show you again just now. The view we've got down at the waterhole on our right hand side. Not a slight breeze this morning. You can see the water is almost like a mirror. And we're here for two reasons. One is because you can always find something at waterholes, but also just this general area that basically, if you take sort of that space, that direction between here and there, somewhere in that area, in less than a mile of distance, there's a lioness at the moment. We know this from the tracks. The guys are on the tracks, and again, they've got a beautiful view from the air. You can see where we're sitting, so the waterhole to our right. And if you were to draw a line from us through the waterhole into the bush over that dry dam area, somewhere there is a lion at the moment. We know this, and we're hoping we could find her. Guys, another question, and I'm hoping we've got time for this, especially for Hayden to be able to get ready for it, because Ashton, you're asking me a question that I can answer to some extent, but hopefully Hayden can show you exactly. That's the area, and I'm hoping what might happen, and this would be brilliant if it could, is in the next 5 or 10 minutes, which is very possible, that lioness will come out here somewhere. This is the typical area they go past because they know the waterhole, and we could be here waiting for her. But Ashton, you were just asking, how long is a lion or a leopard's claw? So that you can almost call it the talon if you want, comparing it to an eagle. That's the nail in front of the feet. And why I said Hayden might answer this better, I'm hoping if there's time for him to grab it, because he's also busy with lots of things in the safari tent. But if he can grab it, he can actually show you one. I heard that he's got one in there. He's got a bunch of things that I haven't even seen. He's got all kinds of tricks up his sleeve. But when they walk, Ashton, lions' feet are like this. So the toes are sort of curled up like that, and the nails are sitting sort of retractable into the nail sheath. And then when they're running and the toes come out to run, or when they're running to grab something, so if they're doing this and suddenly they're grabbing at you, those nails come out. And on a lion, it would be, like how long is a piece of string kind of thing. About that size, which would be about an inch and a bit, about 4 or 5 centimeters, the sort of the length of the nail. And that nail is let me show you how sharp that nail tip is. The nail tip is probably as sharp as that. Literally very, very, very sharp tips, the nails. So when they're grabbing out of the ground, or more specifically hunting, to stretch that paw out and grab onto the prey, they've got very, very strong nails, very strong forearms. But as I said, Hayden can actually show you this in detail. So enjoy the answer more from HT Ashton, and we'll see you back here, hopefully, with a lion running out of that bush towards us.
Well, that there is a lion claw that Peter was just talking about, and that is made of keratin, exactly the same stuff as your fingernails or hair, and that is an incredibly important weapon for a lion. Right, now, once you've got the Birmingham boys on site, those sorts of coalitions, when they move in, they have a knock-on effect. They push other prides out, other prides disperse, and then other prides come in, not even knowing that the Birmingham boys are here. That very pride be the Salala pride. They're refugees. They came in here. If they bump into the Birmingham boys, who knows what's going to happen. Check this out. The 5 young Birmingham boys have recently invaded Djuma from the north. In this chaos, the Salala pride are on the run. They find themselves on Djuma, which is not part of their core territory. They tried to avoid conflict at any cost. These lions are desperately hungry. The oldest female of the pride has no tail. One is injured from a fight with another pride. Outnumbered, young and inexperienced, 2 of the pride try to take down a buffalo in broad daylight. It's a potentially fatal mistake. In contrast, the powerful Birmingham boys settle into their new territory and kill whenever they wish. If they should meet, this could spell disaster for the young males of the displaced Salala pride. Wow, hectic stuff. Those buffalo coming back down on them were really a force to be reckoned with. Speaking of a force to be reckoned with, those Birmingham boys are here to stay, so who knows what's going to happen. They really are a force, a humbling experience to be around. From one massive cat to another incredible cat. Let's cross back to James and see what he's up to with that beautiful leopard.
Got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Oh, sorry, we're live. Here we go. That was a bingo word, everybody. There we have the leopard. And just below him, the hyenas are lurking. There are two of them there, and there's another one off to the right-hand side. Now, just to reiterate, if you haven't been around here, these hyenas, I think, stole a kill from him that he was probably eating last night. Last night, and the reason I say that is because they had blood all over their mouths, and his belly is very full. It's kind of oozing around both sides of that tree. And Leanne, you want to know why it is that these leopards move on their own the whole time. Leanne, they're solitary because it's actually a pretty effective strategy. The only social cats are lions, and I mean, that's a very long and involved and interesting discussion as to why they're social. But the cats are generally solitary, and it's a very effective strategy. They're highly territorial. It means that they can hide very easily. They don't have to share their food with anyone except themselves and except their babies. And so there is a major, that's the major